Welcome back to the show. This is KDS Reviews. This is not as much as a review as it is a commentary. Reimagining. What is the definition of reimagining? Reimagining is reinterpreting a work of art. Now, I've noticed this. I've actually noticed this since the beginning of me starting this channel. How they seem to be reinterpreting some of these known IPs. And it really didn't start off, but it's going on really big time with this new Superman, with David Corson, which is a reimagining of this Superman with Christopher Reeve. Now, I noticed one thing about this movie. If you're 30 and below, I think it's the greatest thing in the world. But I noticed if you're 30, 35 above, you really don't like it. They didn't want to make him this way, truth, justice, and the American way. They wanted to make him a flawed hero. He's not a flawed hero. He's Superman. He's a good guy. If you haven't really seen Superman, and all you've seen is with the new one, I would suggest that you watch this movie and then re-go and see Superman, and you'll see the difference. See, what they'll do now, it seems to me, they'll take someone like this, for instance, the Joker, okay, with Joaquin Phoenix in it. Well, the Joker's not really bad, He was just made that way, He had mental illness and the things that happened to him. And Gotham really made him that way. And that's the reason why this isn't the Joker. This is the Joker, right here. A sadistic killing machine, He shot Barbara Gordon, a.k.a. Batgirl, and paralyzed her for life. He's not some sympathetic hero. He's a villain. And that's all he's going to be, is a villain. But we're going to reinterpret it here. We're going to show a sympathetic view. See, that's why half the movie crowd is walking out of some of these movies for. Because you're feeding us this, when in reality, this is what it is. He's a villain to Batman. And here's one, really, that kind of took my idea about it from some of the very beginning. Let's hear Wicked. Now, this is a good movie. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a good movie. There's a sequel coming up later on this year. But they reimagined this story. She's not really bad. She was made that way because of the wizard and Dorothy and Glinda the Good Witch and all of this. Well, she's not that bad. Why are they calling her a witch? And why is it called Wicked? When you watch this movie, you would bring up Dorothy on charges of genocide because she's not really doing that. She didn't really do this way. She's not really evil. She's evil, okay? Cut it out. Here's another movie right here. Public Enemies. Now, the difference with this movie is that Johnny Depp plays this character, John Dillinger, as a bad guy. Not some anti-hero, a bad guy. Because you know what? John Dillinger was a bad guy. He wasn't some charming, good-looking guy. He was an evil guy. He was a murderer and a bank robber, and he played him this way in this movie. That kind of what makes this movie kind of interesting and good to me. And that's the way they should be doing it, and quit reimagining these characters. And I know what you're thinking. I actually heard an actor say this. I won't say who it is. I couldn't believe he said this. Well, it's just a movie. You're right. It is just a movie. I got a good idea. How about 20 years from now, I'll remake this movie right here, Nightmare on Elm Street, okay? And I'll say, oh, well, he's not really evil. Freddy Krueger's not really evil. If those kids had just stayed asleep, he wouldn't have had to do what he had to do. Let's play a role on it. We'll talk about him before he became Freddy Krueger. What made him change into that? See how that sounds? That's exactly why half the theater is empty right there. Or even better, we'll do Frosty the Snowman. See, we'll say he kidnapped those little kids and he put them on a train. And I hire a big-name star to play Frosty and a big-name director to direct it. And we'll make it look like he's an evil bad guy. See how it sounds? Like I said, that is the reason why some of these movies aren't doing like they should be doing. And you're getting the reaction that you're getting from it. Remember, KDS Reviews is seen every Wednesday and every Sunday. If you like this type of content, then like, subscribe, and share. I'm really interested in what do you think? Are you noticing this trend? Are you seeing this in some of the movies and even TV shows? Make some comments down below. KDS Reviews, seen every Wednesday and Sunday. And I'll see you in the next video.